Cheers. Welcome to day 50 of our Let's Grow annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And today our topic is life is a mirror and what that has to do with growing our relationships or relationship growth. Life is a mirror is one of my favorite ideas and thoughts because what we put out into the world is what comes back to us. What we see in the mirror, what is reflected in the mirror is what we're putting out and therefore what's coming back. We want to make sure that what we're putting out is what we want to receive back in the world. There's a great poem. I think it's not The Man in the Mirror or something like that, but it's something like that. And I'll make sure I find that poem and share it this year during our annual challenge because it's also about reflection and reflecting back on our life. It was my late father's favorite poem, and I love it. I think I usually share it about once a year, so I'll make sure I do that, but not today. I didn't look it up today. So we're going to share Tracy's story in Guide 2 that talks about life being a mirror and reflection and how that has impacted her relationships throughout her lifetime. But also in Guide 2 is a write-up about life as a mirror and how using that philosophy helps to improve our relationships in all the different areas and aspects of our life, right? Because pretty much every area of our life involves being able to relate to and having relationships with other people, not just the relationship area of our life. So the power of perception, the power of being able to interact with other people and connect with other people is what relationships are all about. One of the things that I work with my granddaughters a lot is, and people I coach, is the importance of thinking before we speak, pausing, trying to understand and really have a good communication, really understand the intent of the thing that somebody is trying to communicate, as well as know what our intention is when we're communicating, because that helps to build relationships. By building trust in our relationships, by being vulnerable and authentic, people know if you're being vulnerable or authentic or not. They know if you're faking it. But if we pause, reflect, take a minute, and then respond with mindfulness, we're going to get better results and better communication in our relationships than if we just, flash back whatever pops into our head. I don't know. I've definitely been guilty of that in the past. Mirror neurons, there's been a ton of science done on that. And we as human beings automatically connect with people and mirror back their behavior, their mannerisms and things. If you ever have a conversation with somebody and you're really into it, all of a sudden you'll notice that they're sitting a certain way and you're sitting the same way. And then they'll move and you move because you're mirroring their behavior because you're really engaged and relating with one another. There's a whole science of body language and there's a whole science behind that. Way too much to go into today. And the other thing that is really powerful about mirroring and thinking about life as being a mirror is that it allows us to break patterns that we no longer want to have in our life. We all have patterns and routines that we follow automatically, mostly on a subconscious level. Many of them serve us. The vast majority of them serve us and make our life work. But there's always those that are running in the background that we're not necessarily consciously aware of that cause us problems and challenges. One of mine is I interrupt. I talk. As soon as I get an idea, I start talking. Not a good behavior. So that might be one that I work on today or the rest of this month to eliminate. We also want to cultivate authenticity and vulnerability in all of our relationships, right? At least the most important ones. So what's our action item today? We're going to do a mirror exercise, not the usual mirror exercise that I do, but we'll do that later in the year. I'm sure we'll do that later in the year. So and what we're going to do today is we are going to take a minute. I would say have a little piece of paper with you, a little Post-it note or piece of paper or your book. I always keep a book for every challenge that I do, and so I always write down things in it. We're going to look in the mirror. We're going to look ourselves in the eyes in the mirror, and we're going to notice what comes up. We're going to see what comes up. Is it positive self-talk? Is it negative self-talk? Is it talking about your gray hair? I looked in the mirror today and I'm like, oh my God, my hair is getting gray. Or I looked in the magnifying mirror and I'm like, oh my God, there's makeup smudged all over my nose. That's kind of negative self-talk, right? So we just want to look at ourselves in the mirror and see what comes up, because that filter that comes up and the things we say to ourselves are the things that we reflect and put onto other people. And if they're negative, guess what? We're putting negative attributes onto other people. If it's positive, we're more likely to put positive beliefs on other people or positive assumptions or intents on other people. So it's a great quick and dirty exercise to do today to see what you're actually experiencing and what kind of filters you're filtering your thoughts and beliefs through. Any questions about this, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, Guide 2 has a write-up and Tracy's story. Guide 1 has the videos in the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group page. But I'm always here to answer questions. Have an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.